I have built Web3 startups that have raised millions and reached thousands of users. The longer I was in that space, the more something hit me. A lot of it was just pure hype and not utility. Now, the tech was exciting, the vision sounded revolutionary, but honestly, most of it didn't really solve a real problem. I watched millions of dollars pour into these hype-driven projects, people chasing buzzwords instead of actual real solutions. And now I'm seeing the exact same thing happen again, just in a different form. Because look, this time the tech does have real utility. The problem is that people don't actually know how to use it. They're just adding AI to say they're using AI, not because it actually makes their business better. It reminds me so much of the old Web3 days. Back then, every month had a new big thing. Every month had new tokens, new platforms. Sometimes old ideas just wrapped with a new label because that's where the hype was all about. But behind all that noise, one thing mostly stayed the same. Most projects don't have a real reason to exist. They're not or weren't solving real problems. In fact, they were often just creating a problem in order to justify that they should exist. Meanwhile, if you look at what actually worked, are cloud apps, right? They just work. They're faster, cheaper, and actually built around what users need, what builders need. But in the end, Web3 isn't really chasing utility. They're chasing excitement. And when that hype fades, well, most of these projects and products will disappear and have a vast incline in users or attention. So now, when I look at AI, I'm seeing something similar. Every company wants AI integration. Every investor wants to see some sort of AI strategy. But hardly anyone can answer the simplest question, which is why? Why use it? Why implement it? Let me be clear. AI isn't the actual problem. It's how people are using it. They're automating some random stuff without even knowing what the real bottlenecks are. They're copying what their competitors are doing instead of actually mapping their own unique flow, understanding where their silos are, understanding where their issues are. The issue isn't the actual tools that are being built with AI. It's the actual thinking and strategy process behind it. Because every business is different, right? If you don't understand your own fundamental business workflows, AI will just make your inefficiencies run much faster. And that's something we don't want. So to keep myself grounded in all of this, I started using a simple filter I call the utility filter, which is just 4 simple things: time, cost, quality, and most importantly, profitability. Every system, every process, every single tool you implement should move the needle on at least one of those levers. If not, it's simply hype. It's not going to be the progress that you wish for. Now, here's the thing that most people miss. Before AI can improve anything, you need to understand your own flow. AI isn't step number 1. Clarity is. And once you have that clarity, that's when AI becomes a force multiplier. Without that basic understanding, you're basically putting a jet engine on a car with no steering wheel. These days, when I look at new tech, I ask myself 3 simple questions. The first one is, what problem is this actually solving? The second one, what's the real measurable upside of fixing this? And thirdly, does this make the work either simpler, faster, or more profitable? The question is never, can we add AI for the sake of AI? It's, should we? And if so, where? Because in the end of the day, people shouldn't care what tech they're using. They should care how well it fits into their system. The right AI setup should feel invisible. Now, that's the utility. That's real innovation. Everything else is just simply noise. So if that's the way of thinking that makes sense to you, if that resonates, then let me tell you something. You're in the right place. This channel is all about entrepreneurship, AI, and building systems that actually work. There's no hype here, and I would say no shortcuts. Just clear frameworks, real-world examples and lessons I've learned the hard way. Because hype fades fast, but utility, that compounds. And in the long run, I would say utility always wins. I'm Alex. Thanks for watching, and if you want to build systems that last longer than hype, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.